if you're depending on a stimulus check, it stalled again in Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin couldn't come to agreement again in the House, or the Republicans and the Democrats both couldn't come to an agreement. So it looks like it's going to be stalled till after the election, maybe February, if they even do it then. But Nancy Pelosi is getting on my nerves. There's people out there that really depend on that, and I know a lot of you might be dependent on that check coming. And they want to cap it to $40,000 a year. But if you're in one of the states that's run by Democrats, you're shut down. You can't work, so $40,000 doesn't mean a thing right now to anybody. But they want to cap it to $40,000. And this package that they're trying to pass has an extended unemployment for those of you that are in these Democrat-run states that are shut down. The package had raised the child credit up to $1,200, so it'd been a maximum of $6,000 per family. And Nancy Pelosi rejected that because she wants her crap in it. She wants to do stupid stuff with it, and you just can't do that. You know? You can't give to somebody that's not a legal alien. Or it's not legal citizen. But get my glasses on here. I can't see that. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin told NCDNC, we do support another round of economic impact payment. And Donald Trump had it in there, and he had it ready to go. And then the level and criteria will be discussing with the Senate. The Senate doesn't actually. The Republicans and Democrats both don't want that much money. Donald Trump wants a second round of $1,200 checks. But these guys, the proposal that Donald Trump wants, it's similar to the first round. It's $1,200 per individual, $2,400 per married couple, plus $500 for dependents. This time, however, dependents over 17 would be eligible for the money. So if you got kids living at home that's over 17, they'd be eligible for the maximum of $1,200 through Donald Trump's second stimulus payments. But it looks like there's nothing going to get done till February. Because this woman, she doesn't want to pass it. She wants all this. She wants to pack it with unnecessary stuff. You know, the stuff that's already in there, she wants to double it. And at first she wanted it lower, now she wants it higher. She can't make up her mind. She's delaying it. Plain and simple, this woman's a bitch. Sorry, guys, but she is. You know, the Capitol Hill seemed like it was going to agree on the $1,200, but then the Treasury Department hopes of getting more one-time payments to America in August was shattered because of Nancy Pelosi. Trump tweets his frustration saying Democrats are holding this up. And they are. They are. And on September 10th, the Senate Republican failed to move on small aid bill. They wanted $500 billion, which wouldn't have covered nothing. You guys wouldn't have got no money, and that's your Senate, Republican Senate. So it looks like we're not going to get those checks if you're eligible. You're not going to get it right away. It probably won't be till after February, if even then. And it's held up in there by Nancy Pelosi and some of the Republican senators. And you know, the Republicans, the senators and Republican senators don't want to give out stimulus checks. They just want to help the hospitals, the schools. Oh, what else? I mean, there's a few other things they want to fund, but they don't think that stimulus checks should go out because the unemployment is there. So that's what the Republicans want. If you're on unemployment, you get unemployment. If you ain't on unemployment, aren't eligible for unemployment, you're screwed. You know, you're going to have to fend for yourself more or less. And I know there's a lot of you out there that depending on this money. See what this dude has to say. This is MSN. You don't know how much you can believe of it.
In the CARES Act, the direct payments were estimated by the Joint Committee on Taxation to be somewhere between $300 and $330 billion. And so that would be the rough cost of doing a direct payment again if it's a similar structure to the original payments. It could be done in a standalone clean bill without any other provisions. The big barrier to that is folks in the Democratic caucus are less likely to want to do that independent of the other things that they find of direct concern. There are two major plans that started in the negotiation. The Democratic HEROES Act was the beginning of the negotiation that was passed in May by the House, and it's a little north of $3 trillion. The Senate Republicans came back and introduced their own legislation, that is the HEALS Act, which is a smaller bill targeted at support for education, for vaccines, for unemployment insurance compensation. And the subsequent negotiations have all been about how to close the gap between those two bills, which originally was on the order of a few $1 trillion and is now somewhere about $500 billion. Though, of course, the negotiations are now on hold pending the decision by the White House, and they want to restart them. There is broad agreement about the potential for direct payments. So modeled very similarly or almost exactly to the CARES Act stimulus payments of $1,200 for individuals, $2,400 for those filing jointly based on your income level, with $500 for dependents. That was something that was contained both in the HEROES and HEALS Act. Another area something that they may find to be more effective than a direct payment is an expansion of the child tax credit and earned income tax credit. That's something that Speaker Pelosi talked about earlier this week. Another area of concern because that was contained in the HEROES Act, but it's not something Republicans were interested in. And so, yeah, the big barrier to having a standalone stimulus bill in terms of direct checks.
And the problem with that bill that Nancy Pelosi wants, she wants to add it to your income tax. And, well, if you're not working and you're not paying in any taxes, and a lot of people's been off of work since, March? And there's no income tax in there. All these people if you live in these Democratic ran states and you're shut down, where are they getting their money? Where are they getting enough taxes to do anything? Why are the people that work in government offices allowed to work, but you're not? I don't know, guys. There's something fishy going on, and I don't know.
Is folks on the Democratic side may not think that that's enough in terms of covering the financial needs of vulnerable households right now. And so if there isn't a deal that's done before the election and other items dominate, for example, the Supreme Court nomination, which will take up a lot of political oxygen, there will have to be, and I'm sure there will be a lot of attention on where we're at, both on the economic and public health side. Because I do think that is the risk, that if things do take a turn for the worst, we don't want to be in a situation where Congress and the White House are paralyzed and can't address the situation because they're in a lame duck period. Thankfully,
my view on this whole damn thing is, if they can't pass a bill to help the American people, then they shouldn't get paid either. Because they're not getting that enough revenue in to pay. And they said that if you're retired and on Social Security, retirement, or disability, that's going to run out eventually if they don't open up and let the taxpayers pay their taxes, work, make money. All that stuff's going to run out of money, and they're going to use that money before they stop getting paid themselves. So they're crooked, and they've always been crooked. This is the crookedest damn country government I've ever seen in my life.
That amount of time between November and January is relatively short. So if there is a situation where Congress has to come in January and do something big, I think that's already the plan of Democrats sweep all three branches of government to potentially have a large stimulus plan sort of fashioned after the Recovery Act in 2009. But that is still very much something that we'll have to watch out for, because there could be a world in which a second wave doesn't materialize and the economy sort of just struggles along.
Invest in you. Ready, set, grow. CNBC and a.
Anyway, guys, the Republicans only want to pass a $500 or $500 billion bill. And it included a $300 enhanced weekly federal unemployment benefit. But that cuts out the $1,200. They just want to do and this is the House or the Senate, the Republican Senate, your Republican Senate, only wants $500 billion to provide a $300 enhanced weekly federal unemployment benefit. So you would get that $300 unemployment benefit. It'd be an extension of your unemployment. If you're unemployed, if you can get unemployment. There's some people out there that may have just got into the workforce, hasn't worked long enough to get the unemployment, and now they're sitting there basically helpless. They're basically helpless because this government can't decide whether or not to give the $1,200 stimulus like they did before, and the extra $1,200 for the kids that Trump wanted with a cap of $6,000. Until they reach an agreement, which is not likely till February, guys. I'm just going to tell you that right now, because Nancy Pelosi and Mnuchin, they can't agree on nothing. You know, Mnuchin comes back in with another deal, and Nancy says no. Then when the Senate Republicans want to cut that bill from $3 trillion down to $500 billion, which cuts out the $1,200, but it gives the $300 unemployment. And if you're happy with that, that's fine. But there's people out there that really are dependent on money to pay their bills. Their rent's due, been overdue. I mean, they can't go after you for your house. They can't close on you. Don't worry about that if you're making a house payment. Because there's a stipulation in the last one that they can't do that. Trump made an order. You cannot kick them out of their house because they don't have money. So the bank, sorry guys. But anyway, the bank can't do nothing to you right now for that. But that still don't mean you have food. You need food to survive. And you need electricity and water and all that. You need your utilities. But it's not going to do any good it's not going to help you at all, is what I'm trying to say. It's not going to help you at all with this stimulus check if they can't come to an agreement and get it out there to you. It's bullcrap. People need to be pissed off about this from both sides, you know? If you're a Republican or a conservative, I know this is the guy right here that stalled it. He only wanted the $500 billion this time. He don't want stimulus checks to go out. He just wants to give the $300 expansion to unemployment. And meanwhile, they're getting paid. You're not working. And if you're not paying taxes,
Purdue to join this program on a number of occasions. The senator
they
has
shouldn't
politely
be.
declined. Mr. Ossoff, you were joining Joe Biden at his rally in Atlanta this afternoon.
This is fake news. I ain't watching that shit. But anyway, they're getting paid while they're in office. They're getting paid while they're not in office. They're getting paid regardless of what the economy is. And what I'd like to know is how. Well, I know how they're getting paid because they make the difference up off of the Social Security that's in the bank. They take away from that to pay themselves. They take away from that for everything. They pull it out of your Social Security retirement plan, what you pay in Medicare and all that. They pulled it out to pay for that coronavirus or the Russian collusion court hearings for all that stuff that went on with the Russian collusion. They don't care. They don't care about nothing but themselves as long as they get rich and they do what the people that give them kickbacks want them to do. They don't care about you. As long as there's lobbyists allowed to have lobbying, we're screwed because none of them, coming to find out, none of them really care about the American people. Yeah, it's about the American dollar. This entire government, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, are all mixed up in some way or another with a deep state. I guarantee it. Because they don't care about you. They want to get paid. Screw you. I want to get paid, they say. And we sit there and let it go and go and go. And it ain't never going to change. Never. It ain't never going to change until the American people stand up against big government and demand something change. Or listen, we've got to have term limits. Pure and simple. We need term limits. What I want you guys to do out there is go to the Convention of States term limit page. Sign that petition if you haven't already. Sign it, man. We need this done. We can get this done. It only takes 2 minutes for you to sign that petition. And it's awful that we have to go there, but it should have been done a long time ago. Because you got all these people in office that's career politicians, and ain't nothing going to change until you get them out. Nothing. They don't care about you. They don't care about your situation. It's about what they can do for themselves and what they can do for their lobbyists that give them money. They get rich off of it. You've seen it with Nancy Pelosi and her $24,000 refrigerator. She's the biggest one of them all. And she's the House Speaker, so she's got a lot to say. She has mansions. You know, it's just pure and simple that. And AOC wants a raise already. She wants to give the house a raise from your tax dollars because she can't afford to live in New York or Washington, D.C. How can you not? You make $170,000 a year. How can you not afford to live in Washington, D.C.? Plus, you get all the kickbacks from the lobbyists at AOC, so shut up. You hashtag AOC plus 3 needs to go. But anyway, guys, this whole thing that's going on with the Republicans and Democrats, Nancy Pelosi stalling at every corner. Now you got whoever that damn senator is, McConnell. You got him only want $500 billion. That's a $300 raise in unemployment. So if you're unemployment, that's good. That's good. That's fine. But if you're not getting unemployment, you ain't eligible for unemployment, what are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? A lot of people, and you know what? A lot of people have been out of work since March, and that's a shame. And most of these Democrat-run states. But the Republicans and Democrats, this is what I don't understand. How are they getting paid? If you're not working, how is your state officials getting paid? I don't understand it, guys. It's a mess in there. They're getting money from somewhere. I know the government helps. The federal government funds so much of your state for funding to help them out. And that comes from your taxes too. But I just don't understand it, guys. If you know how they're still getting paid with you not working, let me know. Because I'd really like to know, besides lobbyists. That's the only thing I can see. But anyway, this coronavirus is going on long enough. You know, I don't know, guys. The people need to get back to work. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not taking that vaccine because if you seen there the other day, that vaccine killed somebody. Somebody gave them got a shot. It was a trial vaccine, and he was a volunteer. And they gave him the shot, and he died. Yeah, I ain't taking that. Screw that. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. It really helps my channel. And if you want to donate, use the PayPal link below. We appreciate all donations. 10% go to the people in need. Thank you, and God bless, and be blessed in Jesus' name.